Welcome to Encouraging Wellness, where we shed light on the plethora of holistic healing and wellness methods so you can give yourself the power to ask why and become bigger than the condition you are dealing with or the illness you are currently fighting. Join Pamela Worth as she sits down with doctors, medical experts, healthcare practitioners, and those with unique healing stories to dissect groundbreaking practices that combine traditional Western medicine with alternative modalities. Hear conversations that empower you to go beyond hurtful stigmas, outdated practices, and unnecessary labels, guiding you towards a healthier and happier you. Here, we highlight your true worth and help unleash your inner courage. Now your host, Pamela.
Hi, this is Pamela Worth with the Hello Health podcast, and today I have Ashley Boggs. She has 30 years in wellness, graduate studies, published research at California Institute for Human Science, former trainer, nutritionist, and wellness visionary, according to Best Self Atlanta. And she is also the COO and running AIMD. So thank you, Ashley, for being on today.
Thank you so much, Pamela. I'm super excited to be here.
So walk us through AIMD and BioQuiz, and it's really revolutionary in terms of how you can use not only questions, but then also a visual take of the picture that it takes and sort of what's happening next. It's pretty incredible.
I know, it's really incredible. I've been involved in AIMD. It's a startup tech company. We're a Techstars company and just got through that incubator, which is great. December graduates. And AIMD is a revolutionary patent pending app that lets you test your biomarkers using technology that's been on smartphones and computers for a long time. Probably the usual suspects had it a long time before us consumers, but we're bringing it down to everybody. So we use a remote plasmography, RPPG, to scan your face real quick, about 10 seconds. You just hold still and keep breathing. I have a tendency to hold my breath, but after answering some questions and doing the face scan, you can also enter your symptoms if you have any. You can enter allergies and any medications you may be taking. And then it runs an AI machine learning algorithm to determine what your biomarker assessment is for overall health. There's a diabetes risk score. There's even HbA1c and triglycerides.
Wow. So how many biomarkers is it looking for?
So we have 22 right now, and always looking to add different technologies. Right now we're looking at adding some other features which would allow you to do it under, less stringent environments. Right now, this is kind of like a diagnostic tool in your hands. And I don't know if you've ever seen the meme of the desk from the 90s that had the calculator and the, scanner, all these different things that got basically replaced by this thing right here. Many times just a computer, because it's like you're doing this anyway. So everybody's on mobile devices. And I think the ability to just use something that everybody has in their hand, especially globally. So our mission is for everybody in the world to get a scan on the daily so that they can check their biomarkers and they can check their cardiovascular health. They can check their female health, and we can actually look at some of your hormonal issues that are being misdiagnosed, maybe underdiagnosed. And there's a lot of things that people don't want to go to the doctor for or to anywhere because it's maybe a sexual health problem. So, but, now you can just sort of get some answers. I think sometimes with conditions, I just found out I'm allergic to poison ivy. So don't get it anywhere near me, or don't ask me to do certain yard cleanups until I inspect. But I learned through misdiagnosis and getting the wrong medicine and suffering through a few days that in this app will upload a rash and be able to actually tell the difference. Because let's face it, at this point in America, or society as a whole, in the internet, there are millions of pictures of different things. And everybody's been Googling and WebMDing and, oh my gosh, does my rash match that? Well, now we have AI to tell us. I mean, it's just amazing. And the accuracy levels of these biomarker assessments are rival a blood pressure cuff, a pulsometer, uh, and we don't do oxygen through the phone. Maybe that's coming later where you can breathe. But a lot of these devices, I've looked at CVS even for your average human, TrueMed, whatever. They can be expensive and they malfunction quite a bit. I've seen my family go through, trying to use a blood pressure cuff. And instead, you can just go to https:// ai-md.com to get right to the app. It's a web app. And or just go to ai-md.com and check out the try it now button up at the top. And it's just really amazing. I actually had laryngitis diagnosed. Of course, I'm an active talker, so that made sense. But knowing that it wasn't strep or that it wasn't COVID coming, and I've heard, but I have not had COVID, that it can analyze a COVID cough. So it's nice to have something when you're being secluded, you don't have access to care, or maybe in remote areas, there's such a doctor and nurse shortage. So there's a lot of solutions there.
Yeah. So how would that work? Does it also take sound? Or is it just that it's reading the?
Yes, it does take sound. So it says, please cough. And it says for 5 seconds, and it gives you a little timer. And you go, and then it's done. And it takes that information as well. So we have 4 data sources happening, which is super exciting. Because if you think about it, when you go to your medical practitioners and different folks, they're just using one-way communication. They have your historical records and such there, but then they do a couple tests on you, and then you tell them what is going on with you when you're sick. This thing will tell you what's going on with you because it's just doing an objective analysis of your biomarkers. So those 4 things are, you can data input if it says, do you have any symptoms? And you say yes. You text input, you can speak into it free form. Hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm very tired. My throat is scratchy. My nose is running. My head hurts. My back aches. And then it kind of analyzes what you say. It could be about your foot or any body part. And then it could take the rash images, audio of cough, and then it does the RPPG face scan.
That's awesome. Now, what happens to the data? Do you keep that private? Is it shared anywhere? What about telehealth professionals that, do you recommend anybody that could help them with the problem they have at hand? Or if they want to take this to their practitioner and they're like, oh, well, that's just a silly software. And then be like, no, but here's the data. And so then you could potentially share the data with them. Maybe kind of walk me through the customer journey for them.
Absolutely. Well, there's 2 facets of AIMD. There's the consumer aspect where we want everybody in the world to get their free daily scan. And then you can buy a package of upgraded scans, which would be for a package of, say, it says you have symptoms and you need to do the cough or the rash. It's more bandwidth for software. So there's an extra charge for that. But you can buy a small package, and it starts at about $6.99. But right now, guess what? It's free. It's free everywhere because we're just in beta and we're testing and we want more people to use it. So the other thing that we have is a solution developer kit, an SDK. It's called the BioQuiz, as you said, and that's just a proprietary name for that patent pending aspect that is an integratable API that goes into primarily Shopify websites, which is our preferred partner. And then Reversion allows us to have the affiliate opportunities that's so big in marketing right now for brand partnerships. So with the SDK, a brand partner like yourself can integrate our quiz right into their website and their customer flow through an app or what have you. And it just can say, take the health quiz. I think people have to get educated about these things because there's a lot of take the quiz out there, but it's really a survey, a questionnaire. It's just a bunch of questions, and frankly, they can be very aggravating if you read the analyst reports. They Consumers don't really like them anymore. It's like antiquated. So this takes it beyond to an AI, um, you know, really hyper personalized level where you can have a personal experience, get your information, and then there's a lot of different ways to share your information. So maybe like me, you've been on a health journey and you're excited about your progress and you're seeing amazing results and it tracks your progress over time. We actually just launched our dashboard so you can see progress and then share it with your trainer, your health practitioner, coaches, your wellness coach, or whoever it is, nutritionists. A lot of people are investing into preventative natural health. And there's a reason it's a $63.3 trillion industry. But people are frankly very confused and very overwhelmed. And so that is what we are trying to solve. That's the vision of our founders and the PhDs in neuroscience behind it, Emma Tolsdorf and Radachita. Yay for them. And it's just it's a really great humanitarian cause, but the aspect of integrating into something like a Hello Health or even a lot of folks are getting into doing labs like Hello Health to go another level. So I always say this is the digital biomarker gateway drug to really understanding and taking a look inside. I've studied this for over 30 years. I studied bioenergetics and quantum study. A lot of things I studied are coming to fruition with nerve regrowth and other things. It's super exciting. But they used to have quantum squid technology was like one of the best ways to see inside the body, almost like like seeing that baby in 4D, but even deeper for analyzing disease. But now they're using AI on top of all of that. This is just a different way of using a biometrics. Are you identifying you? You asked me about the data. The data is amazing because, again, this technology existed like a decade ago, probably because of NASA and the FBI and such. But edge computing happens on your phone. So the data is happening, the processing is happening on the phone. Really, the web app is just grinding the data and then giving it back to you, but we don't save any of that and we don't attach it to the person. Now, if you register to have a dashboard, then you can opt in and see the results over time.
Super. What else am I missing? What else have I not asked about when it comes to thinking about AI and health and wellness? And
Well, let me ask you a question while we're doing that, and then maybe you'll think of your question.
go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Okay. So you have some amazing Hello Health products, and I didn't even mention with the SDK that we end up recommending the right products for you based on your biomarker. So I wanted to make that clear. Part of our bio quiz is actually making those recommendations. So as I've been reviewing your product line and your catalog, which is amazing, a couple things kind of stand out that I thought we could talk about because I heard a lot about it at the Natural Products Expo. And, CMOS is really big right now. And of course, sleep. But how do we get sleep? And I think that's magnesium, or they talk about recovery and rest. People are finally focused back on that. So tell me what you're seeing, because that's my burning question.
Yes. So right now, those are our two most popular. So people love magnesium to help them with mood, sleep. Um, Magnesium is one of the few minerals that most people are deficient in, and so it really does not hurt to take a little bit on a daily basis. Some people are very sensitive to it, and so I recommend taking it either with dinner or in the evening. So in case you do start to feel sleepy, some people don't actually feel sleepy when they take it, and some people really do. It's very interesting how we metabolize things differently. But you do want to make sure that it's magnesium glycinate and not one of the others, because there's lots of forms of magnesium out there that will upset your stomach and have you go number two, if you will. But glycinate is the one that is very nice on the system and does not cause that tummy upset. So that is definitely our number one bestseller. And we have it for kids and adults. We have it in capsules, we have it in drops. It's been a great product for
Does
us.
it need something actively with it to be more bioavailable? Like some things like D and K kind of go together.
Yeah, not necessarily with magnesium glycinate. So you can definitely take that on your own and not have to worry about finding something else to bind with it and to get it through.
Is
Um,
that glycinate with a C or an S?
G, with a C, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then with organic sea moss, ours is sourced and made all in the U.S. There's a lot of products that are actually sourced in Asia and then brought over and then produced, and they sell very cheap. And so if you see cheap organic sea moss, you might want to ask yourself why and how. So, I mean, ours isn't it, ours is not really expensive, but it's definitely not the cheapest out there because we do source it from the U.S. and then it's made in the U.S. And so we're careful about that. Um, and it's kind of the nickname is nature's multivitamin, so that's fun, and it really helps so many things in the body to just be better nourished.
Why do you think it's taken so long? Because I mean, there's the Irish sea moss that everybody's like, it's like from the North Sea or whatever near Ireland, and then there's the Caribbeans.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's taken so long to kind of come into play? Because I think the fishermen have been eating that stuff for a long time just off the boat, right? Or
Yeah, and in Ireland, it was actually used as a as food.
bait.
Yeah, as food when they were going through the famine. So
Oh, right. I think I read something like that too. Yeah. So it's so interesting.
yeah, it really is. Um, so I'm trying to think what else. Oh, and then the lab test. So part of my journey. So the whole reason I started this company was because of one of my kiddos who was misdiagnosed with Tourette's, OCD, anxiety, depression, autism. They said I'd have to take care of him the rest of his life, and finally found a doctor who was originally from Asia, educated at UCLA, MD neurologist. Doctor says let's pull some blood and find out what's going on inside. Like that actually makes sense to me. So again, and then the blood work showed that he was low in certain vitamins, minerals. He had an active bacterial infection, strep, even though he tested negative for strep throat with the swab, it was positive in his blood. So that was kind of mind blowing for me. And then he was positive for CMV, which is a common virus. So she said, give me a year. I'm gonna teach you how to make supplements at home, fix his gut. We'll treat him with regular Western medicine, and he's gonna be fine. And sure enough, a year passed, he popped back and hasn't left us since. And he's now the straight A student elite athlete. And this is well over a decade ago. So, it's really, really important and part of my journey. So at one point I had to sell my car to pay for all this stuff because um, it's just so expensive. And so part of my journey was sharing my story so that people would know that they actually can take action and help themselves and help their families. And so I wrote a book along with other doctors and families, kind of describing other, ways of kind of taking a look at health and wellness, but then also providing things that are more cost effective in terms of good supplementation, the ability to lab test, so you actually know what's going on, and eventually giving people a community with. I've got this idea in mind of like this LinkedIn meets ZocDoc for integrative health and wellness, so you actually can connect with other people that are going through chronic things, and then also find practitioners that will help you that are really wanting to get to the root of the problem. Because if you can so like the quiz is super important because then you can, kind of self-select, here's some things I want to focus on. And then if you can then do some really focused lab testing, which then kind of help you zero in on what potentially we need to really think about. And then you can find out the presence or not, or severity, or you actually can then measure and over time do subsequent lab tests to find out are we moving in the right direction or not. So anyway, there's a lot of really cool things that I think are on the way, and I think people are finally embracing the fact that they have the ability to take more action. Um, it's unfortunately kind of annoying, but it's not simpler. And so this is one way of trying to make it simple for people. Um, I had one lady email me and said, I don't really understand why I would do this. I just get it all done from my OBGYN. And I said, but not all OBGYNs are open to ordering lab tests or doing general health and wellness or helping you understand why you may have a chronic condition. So um, this is not for everybody, but it is for people that struggle to really understand a little bit more or can't find people or practitioners that want to help them get to the root of what's going on. So
Yeah, people are hungry for not only natural alternatives, but that are just non-pharma and things that they can do to feel better. But they want to find those practitioners. I'm excited. I mean, on the roadmap for 2026 in AIMD, we will have service directories, so you can opt in. We're also working on a wearable integration. So all your wearable data on a daily basis can be appended so that even when you're a Hello Health customer, you can go take a quiz, check out which supplements and labs are going to be recommended, and then, look at how things are working for you. Because sometimes there is some trial and error, but at least now I think we shorten that runway to finding the help you need other than just, searching on a search engine and using those other tools that I mentioned. So we have lots of integrations, but the ability to, assess your biomarkers very fast. It's great for the aging population because we're also concerned with our parents. I know everybody I know, we're all in our 50s, and, mom and dad are like 80, 75, 85, 90. And grandparents are going around and they want to be more active. The mobility factor becomes the thing. So I've been studying longevity, epigenetics, how you study. I mean, they can almost predict, like, based on your current status, if you continue what you're doing, like the don't die guy, then you'll live exactly this many years, this many months, this many days, and this many hours, right? Which is super exciting. I don't really want to know that. Like, I mean, unless it says you're going to be 115. But the test exists.
yeah.
And so I think, partnering with the labs, genetics, it just makes so much sense to go the next level. So you can get your digital biomarkers for free and then invest in your health. So you don't even have to really go see. I mean, you go get your preventative. Hopefully that's free with your good insurance. But, otherwise, natural wellness, you don't need a doctor. You don't get sick. And it's just a small investment. It's people have to consider. Now there's FSA, HSA, right? For a lot of things nowadays.
And thankfully, we are able to do that. And so um, through our website, people have the ability to use their FSA or HSA on the lab test or on the supplementation. So that's really exciting too.
Yeah, it's anything that will move the needle because I work with people directly, as a brand partner for some other things. And it even with AIMD and getting people to just take the quiz, just go to ai-md.com and take it. It's amazing how many people I said, did you take it yet? And they're like really into fitness or they're on a journey and trying to lose weight. And it does BMI, it does a body shape index, it tells you your mental health and stress, face age. So you might need some extra face cream, guys, or something, but they don't do it. They need that motivation. I think we have to go knock on their door, Pamela, and show up. Hey, it's Pamela and Ashley. No, I think motivation and community and empowerment is part of the thing. It's not just the what I need, but it's the getting you to the I need it now.
Anything else you want to share? Anything else that we haven't touched on that you think would be super helpful for anybody that might be
Yeah.
going through health and wellness? Anything that you think about? You already touched on coming features that you're going to be doing too, which I think is fabulous. And
Yes.
does the program help with like finding any potential interactivity data between supplementation and any pharmaceuticals you're taking? That I think is super interesting because there's lots of people that are kind of funny about that. Like, oh, I don't know if I can really take that because I'm taking X, Y, and Z from my doctor. And I think there's probably a lot else that people can do.
Yeah, we don't have it with the biomarkers. We are going to look at. You could do tongue analysis. The tongue has so much information about the human body, as well as the eyes, even the nose. It's so fascinating, really. And you and I have both studied quite a bit. So those are aspects with AI that they, it's like a doctor's ability to go quickly look at like 5 billion pictures of tongues and go, oh, these are a match, right? What doctor does that? But anyway, it's really not to replace any medical professionals at all. And a lot of people ask about FDA clearance and everything like that. We're friends with the FDA, but we don't have to be cleared. It's just a information tool to get information about your biomarkers using technology that exists. We've just put together in a certain way to help people, and we're excited to help wellness brands and folks that offer different services that are more personalized, because personalized wellness is the future, and that's what people want. It's based on me, not some guy in Brazil that was part of one little tiny study that they whatever did the results on. So it's really personalized, and I love wellness. I'm a fanatic on supplements. I take my collagen, I take my D vitamin, my proteins, my minerals, my shilajit, my okamatcha drink, some yerba mate tea. I mean, it just makes me feel good, and I don't need anything else. I've kind of found that hello happy place.
That's good. And there's some really great programs out there that do offer very white glove personalized service, but it's crazy expensive. And I would much rather help more people and help families that are already struggling to be able to feel better and not feel like they've got to go spend 6 figures getting their family.
No, I think 249 is a good starting price point for getting labs and things. I've done competitive analysis. If you're paying any more than that, you're getting a little bit, hopefully extra concierge white glove, but 349 opens up more biomarkers. There's about 3, 4, 500 different biomarkers now. And I've been analyzing them. I was an analyst at UPS for 12 years when, in my former career. I even worked at Congress as an analyst one summer. Crunching data is my thing. I love it. And I look at all of it, and it's just making sense of all of it. And that's exactly what AI is going to help us do. So we're going to go inform the FDA on, they're asking a lot of questions about digital health, and we got the ladies power team here empowering the women across the world to be healthy, because that's another thing is women's health has been longly ignored, and it needs to be looked at in a personal way for women. It's by women, which I love that we're female run organizations, and just more power to us, because there's more hormonal issues right now related to different conditions. Really, many of them are instituted by drugs, a lot that people have taken that interfere with, contraindication is just such a big problem that gets people into kind of a mess. So I feel I'm a naturalist and a holistic. If you want to unravel the mess, you need to go with natural health and find the right resources, like something like the Hello Health platform, to give you what you need. I love your story about getting your son the help. I used to work with kids, and finally we're looking at the food dyes and the things that we put in. Number one, our children's food. It just gets me angry. But our nutrition is so important, but just trying to not eat those toxins too, because you don't want to invest in your health and then be just, oh, well, I'll eat some seed oil crackers and I'll be fine. Got to cut those seed oils out, right? Where every day we're learning more about these little things that have been snuck into our lives. And we have to unlearn and rethink things and say, it's okay. It's a new world.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you, Ashley. I really love what you're doing. I think it's so impactful and so important, and super excited to continue working with you and seeing how the platform evolves.
I'm super excited to partner with you and bring just more information to people about natural health, and excited to hear what some of the feedback from folks, if we get any questions on our podcast. I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.